Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How is everybody tonight on this spooky Halloween? So we are going to be continuing a look through a couple of recent releases from Free League Publishing. And of course, to complement tonight's spooky events, we are taking a look at Vaesen, Nordic Horror, and their brand new release of Mythic Carpathia. So this is a brand new sort of region book. That's the way I like to think of it. We looked at a previous region book, which was Mythic Britain and Ireland, quite some time ago. So it's fantastic that they are actually bringing in new regions for us to be able to explore. My thanks, of course, to the team at Free League Publishing for providing the channel with a copy of Vaesen Mythic Carpathia for us to take a look at this evening. There's possibly going to be some spoilers as we go through the book, so I will throw up the spoiler sign when it is appropriate. I believe there are a couple of mysteries to be solved at the back of the book, so yes, if you are intending to want to play, then you probably want to stop at that point, but of course for Games Masters you'll want to continue watching. Alright, let's go to the channel and check it out. Okay, so here we go. Vaesen Mythic Carpathia. Now, so first of all, I hope I'm getting the name right by now, because I always ruin it. And also, I've been reliably informed that my description of the locations of Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland were completely wrong on last Wednesday's show. So let's see how we do with Eastern Europe. I do apologize to everybody in Scandinavia for my lack of geographical knowledge, and please, everybody in Eastern Europe, forgive me already. Right, let's take a look. Venture into Mythic Carpathia to face vampires, rusalkas, Baba Yaga, and other even stranger horrors of Central and Eastern European folklore. Wander the busy streets of Prague, where history and myth collide. Visit old cities, deep forests, and high mountains to face creatures beyond belief. This beautifully illustrated hardback expansion to the award-winning Vaesen Nordic Horror Roleplaying includes information about the Carpathia branch of a society, a gazette of the city of Prague, a chapter with local Vaesen, and 3 complete mysteries to play. Mythic Carpathia is illustrated by the acclaimed artist Johan Egerkrantz, Anton Vitus, and Francesca Barald. I'm hoping I get that name correct. And it then goes through the key features, but we'll take a look and we'll see what we get. Okay, so talking about the book, it is typical of the other Vaesen releases. It's a sort of matte finish to this. The pages themselves all have this wonderful matte finish as well. I really like this. Thankfully, we don't have any glare from the light, so I do appreciate that for sure when we're doing a stream. There's quite a lot of text in this. There's a lot of information to sort of set the scene. But, of course, we do have, as it said, there are 3 mysteries at the back, and then we have some wonderful illustrations and maps to enjoy. Bit of a tease there, give you an idea of what we are going to face. So, before we get started, let's go to the map. Let's see if I can show all of this in one go. I've got to say, I really, really love all of the maps for the games that Free League do. They are all wonderfully detailed. This one is no exception. And this one possibly is a little easier for me to identify places to. I found the Mythic North one actually quite difficult. Also, I've got to bear in mind that names for some places have changed. So that might have thrown me off just a little bit. But cheating aside, I have a Google map over on another screen so that just in case I get unstuck. But we'll see how we do. All right, what have we got? So we got Germany up in the top here with Berlin, Dresden. We come down to, now, I've got to get this right. Hang on, I'm bringing up the other map. Because we've got Prague here. It doesn't actually say, because it's this section here, which is Czech, isn't it? This area. Then we get into Austria. We have Vienna. And coming down, we've got Italy coming off of the side here. I'm looking at our modern map. So underneath Austria, we've got Slovenia down this area. Just here with Croatia. Actually, this area. I think that's this Slovenia here. Croatia here. Hungary, so Budapest, and then Transylvania. We got, is it the Carpathian Mountains? Yeah. We have the Russian Empire up in the top here, Warsaw, and then we have the Ottoman Empire down at the bottom, just here. But as I say, this is just a wonderful map. Really, really nice. I think I've said, haven't I, that the mythic map of Great Britain and Ireland I intend to frame and put on a wall at some point, because I think that map is absolutely fantastic. And I can definitely see this one going up alongside as well. I love all the little details that are in there. I like the overall design of it. It's really, really nice. And then on the reverse, we have a map of the city of Prague. I've never been to Prague, so but I know that people say it's really, really beautiful. What have we got here? Got the Town Hall and Clock, number 1. We've got the Charles Bridge. The National Theatre, number 5. Number 10, the Church of Our Lady of the Snow. Number 10, just here. And we got the Police Garrison and City Morgue, 13. Just up at the top. So yeah, really, really nice map. I like this. Okay, let's jump into the book then. So, lead artist, as we said, is Johan Egerkrantz, who did the art for... I think the original Vaesen is based off one of his art books, and they've created, obviously, the role-playing game around it. This one is based on a book, The Undead. So it might be worth checking out the original books to see some of this art and see what other items that have been developed. There's a lot of writers for this particular book, isn't there? And a lot of research has been done just by the number of books there that are being referenced. So what we're going to have Mythic Carpathia, the Carpathian Society, the Vaesen of Carpathia, and then I think this is going to be our 3 mysteries. A Treaty of Blood, the Gathering Storm, the Secret of Maharal? Maharal? Let's go with that. And then we have some appendices with some handouts. So, welcome to Mythic Carpathia, a Vaesen version of Central and Eastern Europe. In the 19th century, this region was torn by wars and dominated by 3 powerful empires: the Austro-Hungary, the Kingdom of Prussia, and the Russian Empire. But it does go into a lot of detail on the region and provides a lot of history. So for the Games Master, this is really good to sort of, immerse yourself in the setting. I suppose it's also really good for players as well, so that they get a good understanding of the region. There's a lot here. I've gone through it relatively quickly, but I'm going to sit down at some point and actually have a proper read through. Detailing the various cities. Maybe the key ones there. Does talk a little bit about folklore and local traditions. An idea of what daily life is like. But of course, because it's dealing with multiple countries, then they do break it down. So we got what life is like for Austrians, for Germans, for Czechs. And in fact, actually, and then looking at the actual clergy, Jewish people, the military, and immigrants. So there's a lot of a breakdown. State of industrialization. Of course, there we go. We get the map of Prague. And going into the history of Prague. So the 5 towns. So inhabitants of the old town. Okay. So this is, I think this is some licensed artwork. Because I'm pretty sure there is a credit at the beginning of the book that details these images. So is this detailing then actually the 5 towns? Hey Roga, how are you doing? We're just taking a look at Mythic Carpathia. And I'm trying not to get names wrong or geographical locations incorrect like I did on Wednesday. I'm trying my best, I really am. So we got the 5 towns. Let's just I'm just interested in this now. So unification was only formalized in 1784. The individual towns already existed in close symbiosis, each providing services specific to that particular town. Okay. So what do we have? Stair Mesto? Is that the old town? Excuse me a second. Key sites in Old Town. Oh, so this is this in Prague? Yeah, it is in Prague, isn't it? But I think it's broken down. So is the Church of Our Lady before Tin? I'm going to say that wrong, of course. Nove Mesto. Is that a new town? I think that's what it's just been mentioned here. And then there's key sites in the new town. Oh, I am going to ruin all of these names. Josefov? Josefov? Yeah, we're going to go with that. Smallest of the towns that make up Prague. Okay. Malastrana, the little town. I'm going to jump to where we have the English translation. That's probably the best thing for me to do. Prague Castle. Okay. So is that the 5? I think it is, isn't it? Well, how does that break down in the actual map? I suppose because it says here key sites, you could identify then splitting the map up into the 5 areas. So key sites in the old town, Church of the Lady, let's find that. We got the Church of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Church of Our Lady of Snows, State Theatre. We've got the National Theatre and St Agnes Convent. Is there a convent? No. So I think this must be outside of this area that the map details. Prague today, that of course being, is it the 19th century when this game is set? Again, another piece of art from the time. So that's a reasonable amount then, isn't there? 20 odd pages then of historical sort of background and detailing the region, but then also the city of Prague. So then it details the Carpathian society, which is locally called Pravda, which means truth. So this is the equivalent of the society in the Stockholm one we use, of course, in Vaesen itself. And this goes into a lot of detail, because I guess it's going to be different, because they, of course, face different Vaesen, don't they? So we've got some history about the society, about the Battle of White Mountain, the Powder Gate. Powder Gate is still located on the border between the Old Town and New Town. Did we not see that on the map? Oh no. That was the Charles Bridge. Where's the Powder Gate? Okay, the Powder Gate is located near the Royal Former Court, the Royal Palace, built on a triangular plan. Okay, Royal Palace. Sure, I saw that. Oh, we do have Powder Tower, so 11. So it's around... Yes, here we go, this area here. So this is where the society is. What upgrades can we do? We can... these upgrades and rooms and functions of the Powder Gate. So we've got the Armory. Evacuation route. Front office. Secret library. A warehouse. Because, of course, you're able to upgrade your sort of headquarters, aren't you, during the course of a campaign. And this will give your players benefits going into future mysteries. Let's have a quick look and see what one of these... What about Secret Library? Grimoires collected over the centuries lie in trunks brought from various caches in... Oh... Sudetenland? Gonna get that wrong. They could be organised into a neat library with books available only for members of the society who are privy to Vaesen matters. So, a prerequisite, a room on the 2nd or 3rd floor. Development points are 1. Function, the list of books available in the secret library can be found on page 31-32. Alright, we'll check that out. So I wonder, does it give us... So it's telling us that we've got to have a second or third floor. I'm assuming then that the rules for actually creating the society will be in the main book. And this is now just additions to be able to enhance it. Let's take a look at some of these books. What might we find? Oh, thankfully, we've got a sort of, is it the Slavic language here? But actually, we've got English underneath, so I don't make a complete arse of myself. So what about Beyond the Limits of the Mind by Marcus Antoninus Herzog, published in Vienna in 1766. The language is Latin. The book describes the author's encounters with Vaesen and attempts to explain their presence rationally. The attempts seem quite successful since, as the encyclopedia notes proclaim, the renowned zoologist M.A. Herzog died in Graz at the age of 93, utterly sane. Okay, is that real then? Interesting. What else have we got? Some contacts. These are helpful individuals or institutions. The Aviation Society. Balloon flights are organised outside Prague's walls. Hey, we could grab a balloon. The Commandant. Puppeteer. Prague is well known for its moving puppets, which are used in the theatres, including street theatres, as children's toys in many homes. Yeah, having watched The Conjuring over the last couple of nights, I'm not sure, puppeteering, Annabelle kind of puppet toys are going to be good. We've got personnel, junior clerk, senior clerk. Oh, threats, here we go. Following our constant issues, the Pravada, I'm going to go with that. Pravada society must reckon with, some unique to them and others to any dwelling in the region in this time. Game Master may use these for any mystery. So these kind of story hooks. Let's choose a couple. City architects want to demolish the Powder Gate as part of significant reconstruction. We don't want that. That's where we're based. One or more Vaesen nests in the sewers near the gate. One or more Vaesen have chosen the gate as their ideal habitat. An official intends to cancel the contract to purchase the gate's premises. Okay, so we're constantly having to battle against administration, not just the Vaesen that are in the area. But we do have a new archetype that might be useful. The Vampire Hunter, which I think is great. If I could go back in time and not invite that stranger into our home, if I would have seen those fangs that he was hiding, my memories are all stained with the blood of my family, and him laughing, biting and biting again, and pushing me to the floor, refusing to kill me even after all was done and I begged him to do so. Now I seek him and others like him. It is I who come knocking on his door, and I will bring knives, stakes and holy crosses, and it will be he who will beg on his knees for me to spare his unlife. I will grant no mercy. Yes! This is brilliant. So we got suggestions of some names. Our motivation, it's got to be revenge. Got to be. Trauma. You found the bloodless corpse of a sibling. You realised that your stepmother was not human. Your mind and body were controlled by a Vaesen. Dark secret. Someone close to you is a Dampier. We'll find that out in a second. There's a page reference. So our key attribute is precision. Key skill is close combat. Our talent, hateful of bloodsuckers. Gain +2 to fear tests when facing vampires of any sort or their minions. An Impaler, gain +2 to close combat when using a stake. And on the hunt, heal 1 condition when you learn where the Vaesen can be found. This is cool. I like it. I like the idea of being this vampire hunter. So we've got a brand new archetype. And then, of course, it goes into some of the details of the Vaesen that we will find in Carpathia. I'm going to throw up the spoilers at this point. So if you are a player, you might want to tap out now. You don't want to have any of these spoilt for you. So, and some of these I'm aware of, and most of them I'm not. As it says, this chapter presents a selection of supernatural creatures from Central and Eastern Europe. The information in these pages is organised in the same way it is in the Vaesen core rulebook. If you are a player, you should stop reading. There we go. The information that follows is for Games Master only. So, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is a powerful Vaesen from Eastern Europe who appears as an old, frightening woman with iron teeth and a bone leg. Once she was revered as a forest goddess, with people offering sacrifices and praying for the health of their children or abundant harvests. With the rise of Christianity, she suffered the fate of many old idols, demonization, and eventual obscurity. Now she lives deep in the forest in a hut that stands on chicken legs, harboring resentment towards humankind. We get a little bit of a secret, we get some conditions, magical powers, and is it? Yeah, here we go. Examples of conflicts. So this is the way to incorporate this particular Vaesen into a mystery. So I like this. It gives you some ideas. There's like 3 different ideas here. We'll skip past this. We don't want to go into any detail in case a GM wants to use those ideas. Babe? Babe? Is an evil night spirit. I've got no hope on reading any of this. The font is yeah. Well, I suppose it's not too bad if I was really concentrating, but looking at the distance I am, I find that all a bit of a blur. But this is actually quite nice. So, the evil night spirit, he is the embodiment of children's fears. Living in a lair in the forest depths, he comes to the villages at night. Searches for the houses where children live. As soon as he finds one, he sneaks closer to a door or window and listens carefully. What interests him is the behaviour of children. If he hears that a child is well behaved and calmly goes to sleep, Babe has no... Bye-bye, I'm going to go with Bye-bye. Has no interest in him. But if a child is naughty, doesn't want to go to bed, screams and argues with their parents, that child becomes Baba's target. Baba waits until all the adults fall asleep, sneaks into the house, and steals the naughty child, putting them into his big bag. Okay, so we've got this child snatcher. Oh, there he is. Fantastic. So, be good kids. This is back in the day. This is when children behaved. This is cool. I like it. And this actually makes me think, I really hope that they continue doing these sort of region books. Because think of all of these sort of creatures that you could associate with the stories of like Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm, certainly. So you could do, the German area. And is it German and Austria? I suppose Austria is part of this slightly, isn't it? Maybe. So yeah, I like that. That's a cool character. I like that. a dhampir. So sometimes vampires seduce mortal women, resulting in the birth of a dhampir. They usually die at birth, but those who survive are neither human nor vampire, but half-breeds of both species. So, this is Blade, isn't it? The dhampirs do not inherit immortality from their vampiric parent. It is possible to kill them, although it's difficult. However, regardless of whether the dhampir was killed or died naturally, it will return as a vampire. To prevent it, the body of the dhampir must be decapitated the same day it dies. Oh yes, there we go. I don't know. Can we play as this? Could we merge the vampire hunter with this particular creature? I think a little bit of house ruling, that could be quite good fun. Does it say that your sunlight affects you? So vampire lineage influences not only their talents but also their appearance. They usually have grey skin that appear to be dirty, large noses and ears, and black hair. The bodies are extremely flexible and resilient due to the complete or partial absence of bones, and they cast no shadow. However, being vampire hunters allows dhampirs to gain proper respect amongst humans. Oh, here we go. Same time, they are not afraid of sunlight and can eat regular food, although human blood enhances their abilities. So, it doesn't specifically say. I suppose we'd still, well, you'd maybe make your characteristics as close as possible to what they're putting here. I think that'd be great if you could play as one of these. Oh gosh, here we go. There's another name that I'm going to ruin. Kavak is a malicious being attracted to instances of great tragedies and cruel injustice. A golem? Oh gosh. A homunculus? An artificial living being created by humans using magic and science. Oh, we got even even harder names now. I think we should be a rating next to these on how difficult the name is. Oh, Yaroka. Yaroka. It's a tiny Vaesen with a lizard-like body covered with scales. Ah, okay, so we do actually have German Vaesen included in this as well. So Zera, German version of vampire. Ah, here we go. We've got a bit of an understanding. Its name consists of two parts. Nacht meaning after, and Zera meaning to eat or subsist on. Insatiable appetite characterizes this undead. Its cause of death is often suicide or plague, and it was believed that when a plague swept a village, first to succumb to it would become the Nacht Zera. I am ruining these names tonight. Rusalka is a Slavic undead water nymph that appears when young women die in or near water. So don't do that. Ah. Is that Strigoi? Relatives of vampires. are most often found in the territory of Romania. So we've got multiple vampires from different regions, different types of vampires. And in fact, I recognise this. What was that? There was a TV show, wasn't there? And it was based on a comic book which was written by, oh gosh, the director of Hellboy. Del Toro is his last name. He's just done the new version of Frankenstein. And I'm sure that comic book and the TV series had Strigoi. So Romanian vampires. So their appearance can range from human-like to ugly and monstrous. Okay. I suppose this is a little bit more, you know, the Dracula kind of character, isn't it? Certainly the armoured medieval sort of version. I wonder how. So we've had 3 different vampires. What else do we have? No wonder we need to have a vampire hunter archetype. I can't even say the name of this one. There's an evil female spirit, a thief of talents, fate, and good luck. These are really some of the descriptions of what they do and where they come from. It's really, really dark. Again, they do have a warning on this game, but it is for a mature audience. It is not. Some of these characters are not suitable for young kids at all. So you definitely must make sure your audience is suitable for this type of game. So a vampire. So this is. So it is saying there are many different local versions of the vampire, including the Strigoi, and the Nakzera. There are no general rules regarding the appearance of a vampire. Okay. So it didn't include the Dampier, did it? That's, even though, you know, you'd say that was like a subclass, wouldn't it? Wow. Might 10, body control 10, manipulation 12. Mighty beasts. They're relative to both vampires and werewolves. This is the combination of the two. Because of course werewolves are in the main book, aren't they? This is a more vampiric werewolf. Oh gosh. A Vodiankik, yeah, is a tricky and malicious spirit, often associated with freshwater bodies such as rivers, lakes, and ponds. Resembles a green-skinned old man with a fish tail, frog-like webs between his toes, catfish moustache, a long green beard tinged with algae and other fish-like traits. They love blood sacrifices. What's this? A spirit of air and whirlwinds, born of children who were cursed or announced by their parents. Oh gosh. This is suitably terrifying. Again, another name I can't say. So, but some mirrors are inhabited by this. A dead person's soul who was trapped in the mirror, becoming its mistress and guardian of the gates between realms. They typically act as spirit protectors of the house from evil beings, but they can be corrupted by dark magic and haunt people. That's interesting. That's a movie we watched last night. Had some entity within a mirror, so it must be based off that. Okay, so this is the first of the 3 mysteries. I am going to skip over these relatively quickly, but I just want to point out at the top of the pages in very small text, there's a content warning for this one. Details with blood, death, violence, abuse and murder. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what your players may encounter, and of course as the GM you want to read through all of this and then relay some of it to give people an idea of what they're going to be playing, just to make sure that they are comfortable with that. So we've got a bit of a prelude, some background. Does detail the Vaesen in this mystery. It's 3 different types. How our players get invited into the mystery. Preparations, the journey, once they arrive. Details, the actual locations. Do we actually have a little map? We do. We have a map here. Oh, look at this. We have a little village down in the forests, in a valley, and up there we have a castle. Who could possibly be in the castle? Are the children going missing? Is there a rich but reclusive aristocrat up in the castle? No, it's actually, it's quite a bit. We've got some NPCs here. In fact, that's actually seems like quite a big mystery there. That's a good few pages to it. Oh gosh, here we go. The Gathering Storm. Content warning: blood, death, violence, abuse, murder. Also note that some characters, events and locations are historical, but the story told here is entirely fictional. That's actually quite cool then. We're actually getting some historical content sort of woven in. That's interesting. Is it going to point out what the historical aspects are for those who don't know? We got a little bit of prelude there, background. So again, it's broken down into similar setup as all these mysteries are. So if you've already run a mystery, you'll probably find this quite easy. Oh gosh, okay, so this is actually in a prison. Wow. Okay. Did it actually detail which Vaesen we are going to be facing? Let's just see if it did. There's nothing, there's no call-out box as in with the previous one, but actually we can get a little bit of a hint from the illustration, can't we? This was the one right at the end here. There it is. Again, it's a creature I cannot pronounce. Got lots of V's and K's and Y's in it. So we have our prison. And then the final. We have The Secret of Maharal. Violence, mind control. And again, it has characters in this mystery are historical, but of course it's a fictional story. So prelude. People are dying in Prague. And so, okay, this is where we get to actually use the map of the city of Prague itself. And ultimately, we get a few handouts at the back. To which I suppose if you have the book, you would maybe photocopy these. You got access, or if you purchase the book directly from Free League themselves, then you get the digital PDF. It's probably the easiest way of going about it, because then, of course, you can just print these out directly. Because I just thought, where would you find a photocopier these days? Maybe you just take a photograph with your phone and then print that out. That's probably the easiest thing, isn't it? So, well, that brings us pretty much to the end. So that is a quick look through Vaesen Mythic Carpathia. Yes, lots of vampires to be dealt with. I really like this, and I'm infused by the fact that this is now going to be the second of a region book, and I hope that they will do more. I hope this then sort of opens the floodgates for other regions. What about a book that is based in Japan and in that area of the world? We could maybe travel the entire globe. Every culture has its folklore of creatures that were unexplained, and I think that we could just keep on going with this, and we could have societies all over the world. So really, really like this, and especially it gives you an opportunity to learn something about a different group of people, doesn't it? So I'm going to thoroughly enjoy sitting down this and reading through some of these details and learning more about the region of Eastern sort of Europe. Rogi saying, cool book and great artwork. You like the idea of these region books? Yeah, I hope that this is something that they do sort of take and go forward with. I think there will be a lot of interest. Again, new region, couple of mysteries to solve, a new archetype that is relevant. I think this is a good formula. So I really do hope that they run forward with it for more to come. So with that in mind, we've got one last book to take a look at, and we'll be looking at this on Monday evening. So this is Vaesen, City of My Nightmares. So that will conclude our brand new Vaesen releases. So this is for Monday night. Again, I've done it again, haven't I? I should be throwing up that one there. So Face the Terrors of the City, a full-length 4-part campaign. We now have to deal with urban gothic horror, investigating grisly murders. And this is primarily set in Stockholm. However, it does encourage that you can use these rules to basically have a setting in anywhere sort of in Europe in that sort of the early 19th century. So ultimately, we could have a fog-shrouded Victorian London, England. We could solve some grisly murders. A character who was never brought to justice, who managed to just slip away into the night. Interesting how that might work out. So that's the book on Monday evening. Hopefully you'll be able to join me for that. Thank you so much for this evening. Have a wonderful weekend, and look forward to seeing you next week. But until then, bye for now.